we wanted to talk a little bit more about the tire policy and how that applies to you. And so it's important to maintain tire quality because it'll save you money. Tires that last their normal cycle are swapped in Salt Lake City for no charge. But if they don't last their normal cycle, if something goes wrong or if they get worn down too quickly, then you are assigned the damage for those costs for premature wearing of tires. And kind of how we can check that is a technician will find out how long ago a tire should have been reported, and then all drivers that have driven since then will be charged for that tire and buying a new tire. And so as I said, those tires that last their normal cycles are swapped out in Salt Lake with no charge to anyone. And so just kind of a review of what a normal tire cycle is. It depends on the tire, and you probably have a good idea of how long these are supposed to last, but trailer recap tires are about 150,000 miles, and if they're virgin, it's 200,000. Drive recap are 200,000 miles, with the virgin tires being 250,000, and then all steers are 250,000 miles. So it's important to have a good idea of this, that you can know how long your tires should last. So a little bit more on the tire policy. It's important for you to know the tire pressure for all your tires, because if it's low during an inspection, then you'll be charged. And this is because low tire pressure is the biggest reason for why tires will wear quickly. And so, as you probably know, the tire pressure should be at 100 psi, and if it's below that, then we have problems with it. And so you won't be charged if the tire pressure is anywhere above 90. We give you 10 psi as kind of a leeway. But as soon as it drops below 90, then you'll be charged for the difference from 100. And you'll be charged at a rate of $1 per psi. So we'll give you an example so that you can kind of understand this. So let's say Randy inspects John's truck, and he finds that there's 3 tires that are below 100 psi. So how it'll work is, let's say one of them is 95 psi, then he won't be charged because he's still within that 10 psi leeway. But as soon as it drops below that, if it's at 89, then he'll be charged $11 for that tire, because 100 minus 89 is 11. And in the same way, let's say he has one tire that's 60 psi, it's pretty flat, then he's charged $40 for it. And so for those 3 tires, he'll be charged $51, which is the combination of those 2 tires. And so this money, this $51 that he's charged, it'll go into the tire damage fund. And this fund is set up for almost like a damage reserve, but just for tires. And it'll help subsidize tire blowouts that'll occur within the first 750 miles that a driver is first operating a vehicle. And when that tire does blow out, the driver needs to obtain a report from the technician or whoever's inspecting the vehicle to make sure that all of the other tires were inflated properly so that there's no other reason for the blowout. So a little bit more on how you can get a subsidy for a tire blowout. There's different rates depending on how long you've been driving that truck. So for the first 250 miles, you can get up to 75% of the cost covered. And between 250 and 500 miles, you get 50% subsidized. And then from 500 to 750 miles of first driving that truck, you get up to 25% of the cost covered. And this is because the longer you drive, the more responsible you are for your own tires and for your own truck. Alright, lastly we want to talk about blown tires. And it's important to know that you're responsible for blown tires when you're driving. And this is because if you drive responsibly and safely, you won't have a blown tire. And like I said, your blown tires can be subsidized from the tire damage fund. And all tires put on as a result of a blown tire are temporary fix, and you'll be charged for any of the surrounding expenses due to that blown tire. And so this is our policy, our tire policy.